Hello everyone, welcome back. So guys, in our previous session we have discussed about sum and count functions. In our today's session we will be discussing about how lookup and vertical lookup works. So guys, let's understand how lookup and vertical lookup works. First of all, we are working on lookup, so let's write grades instead of that. Lookup functions, first of all, we are understanding lookup function. For a lookup function, we need to write equal to lookup. Okay, what lookup function will do? Suppose if you have a sheet and based on these marks, you need to provide this grades. Like if someone has scored more than 10, the person would get F, or let's make it 0 instead of this. So I'll just remove the formula as of now. Anyone who has scored above 0 would get an F, above 50 would get a D, above 60 would get a C, and similarly so on up to above 90 would get a A plus. I want to write these grades over here based on these criteria. Okay, so for that I'll be using a lookup function. A lookup function will allow you to look up a value from here and fill the value in the grades section. How does it work? Let's have a look on that. Lookup, what is your lookup value? This marks is my lookup value. What is my lookup vector? With the reference of this range, I want to find the answer. And what is my result? This is my result. If I close this and if I press enter, it would give me F, which is true, that marks above 0 and less than 50 would get an F. But there would be a small problem that if I drag it down till here, some of the grades will be here, but then rest of them won't be here. Why? This will happen because if you can see in F, the range is F3 to F8. That means F3 to F8. Okay. Here if I see the range is F7 to F12, which is what? This to F12, which is not true. That means this range should be fixed. Okay. Our formula, these value, our mark should change, but this range, this should be fixed over here. So for that, what we'll do, I'll just write the formula once again and I'll be writing lookup. My lookup value is this. That means this will change. But what should be fixed? My lookup vector should be fixed. So choose this and click on F4. In your keyboard, you have F4. So click on F4, which will put a $sign, which means that this range is fixed. Now this formula will not go down for this particular range. Comma. Similarly, the grades are fixed as well. So choose them and F4 again to fix them. Okay. Close the bracket and press enter. Now the first value is F, and if I drag it down till here, this is how it works. Okay, and now we have all the grades. So suppose someone has scored 90 or more than 90 would get an A plus. Someone who has scored more than 80 would get an A. As you can see, we have A over here. Someone who has scored more than 70 would get a B. So 71, 78 would get a B, and so on for the other marks ranges as well. But there is a limitation to this formula, that here this range, this marks range, it should be in ascending order. It cannot be in a descending order. It should always be in a ascending order. I cannot do this, that if I write 50 over here and if I put a 0 over here and if I put a D here and if I put an F here, okay, this thing would not work. As you can see, our formula is not working. So make sure that this range, this marks range, doesn't matter the grades, this marks range, this should be in ascending order for a lookup function to work. Okay, let's try another example. So suppose here we have employee IDs, we have name, age, gender and salary. Let's say based on salary, okay, based on salary, I want to give a bonus. Okay, now if someone has less than or let's say someone earns more than 1000 would get a bonus of 0%. Okay, would get a bonus of 0%. If someone earns more than 50,000 would get a bonus of 5%. Okay, if someone earns more than, okay, instead of 5,000 I'll make it 50,000. Okay, if someone earns more than 1 lakh, okay, that person will get a bonus of 10%. If someone earns more than 1,50,000, in that case, that person would get a 15% bonus. And someone whose salary is greater than 2 lakhs would get a bonus of 20%. Okay. So for this, again, I'll be using the lookup function that equal to lookup. This is my lookup value, comma, this is my lookup result vector. Make sure you fix it by using F4 key, comma, and this is what you need to return. Okay, so F4, if I close it again, see 0.5, okay, 15.5, this is 10 obviously, okay, and these are our values. So this is how we have got the bonuses as well. Why it's coming in decimal values? Because it's in percentage, that's why it's coming in decimal values. But this is 5%, 15%, 5%. This one is 10%. Okay, you can shift it by 2 decimal places as well, totally up to you. So if you want, you can shift it to 2 decimal places as well, or we can just convert it to percentage as well. So just select the whole column and select percentage. It would be converted in percentage. So whatever the percent we have provided over here, this percentage is in here as well. So this is how a lookup function works. I hope how lookup function works is clear to you. Just there is only one single limitation, that this vector, this salary vector, okay, your lookup vector, it should be in ascending order. It cannot be in descending, or it cannot be in a random order. It should always be in an ascending order. I hope lookup function is clear to you. Now, once we have covered the lookup functions, let's discuss the vertical lookup function. That what is a vertical lookup function? For a vertical lookup function, I'll just copy this whole same table. Okay, I'll just copy this table, and let's say I'm gonna paste it here. So this is my table. Okay, what a vertical lookup will do. So suppose if you have any person's employee ID, based on the employee ID, it will provide us the name or age or gender or salary of that person. Let's see how. Suppose if we have E0 and 1639, 1639, okay, and it's not 0, so let's make it 0. Okay, this is the employee ID of someone. Okay, obviously in a company we'll have thousands of data or hundreds of data. Here we just have this much of data, and suppose if we have the employee ID and I want to find, on the basis of employee ID, I want to find the salary of that person or the name of that person. How we can do it? With using vertical lookup. Vertical lookup means when you have a vertical table, we use vertical lookup. When we have a horizontal table, we use horizontal lookup. Although in many of the cases we do not have the horizontal tables, that's why we are going for a vertical lookup approach over here. Is equals to VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP, it's asking for your lookup value. So guys, this is my lookup value. This is the value that I want to find. Where will I find this? Okay, it's asking me for the table array. So this is my table array. In this whole table, I'll be able to find it. And I guess it's not a table yet. So let me just close it, because I have copied the values from there. I'm not sure if it is a table. Okay, now it will be a table. So now again, if I use VLOOKUP, so we have vertical lookup. This is our lookup value. Okay, where will I find this lookup value? In this whole table. Okay, column index, that what is your result. Okay, so this is my index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4 and index 5. My result lies in 5th column. Okay, and I want an exact match which is false. Okay, so you can write, for false you can write 0 as well, or you can write false as well. So it's asking, do you want the approximate match of a value, or do you want the exact match of a value? So I want the exact match. For exact match you can write 0 as well, or you can write false as well. If I press on enter, it says not available. Let's just check it again. If we have missed something, lookup value, we have array, we have column index, and we have range. Okay, it's saying this because we do not have anyone with 1638 employee ID. We do have someone with 1639, that is Joshua Gupta, and his salary is 50,994. Okay, similarly, what if I wanted to find his name? Okay, the name of the person whose employee ID is being mentioned over here. Okay, so for that I'll again write equals to and vertical lookup, VLOOKUP, Lookup value, this is my lookup value. Okay, what is my table? This whole thing is my table, comma. My column index, this time name lies in index number 2, that means column number 2. Okay, and I want the exact match, so 0, press enter. Now I have the name of the person whose ID has been mentioned over here. What if I change the ID? Suppose if I put 1550. So if I write 1550, the formula is dynamic. It will change the name of the person. 1550 is Theodore Din, and here we have the value. See, if I would have found it with the help of a name, there can be two people with one name, right? So if I would have find it with a name, it wouldn't have worked. So that is one of the limitations, that you should not have unique values. That means whenever you are using this formula, your lookup value should be a unique value. It should not be a duplicate value. Second thing, your lookup value and your result value, they should lie on left and right of each other. For example, the lookup value, the value from which you are looking from, it should always lie on the left hand side, and whatever you are looking for should always lie on the right hand side. Whether it's name, whether it's age, whether it's gender, or whether it's salary. You cannot find the name of a person from salary by using VLOOKUP. For that we have XLOOKUP or index match that we will be learning about in our upcoming videos. But as of now, this is the limitation of vertical lookup, that from name you cannot find employee ID, or from salary you cannot find the name or age or gender of a person. With the help of name, you can find the salary, but there will be a problem that if names are duplicate, then it will only return you the first value. Okay, so suppose if you're looking for this Theodore Din, it won't give you the value because it will just satisfy at the very first value itself. Okay, so these are few limitations. First of all, that your lookup value should lie on the left hand side. But what if you are looking for something from a reference of a name? So from a name, if I want to find out the age, okay, so equal to lookup, actually vertical lookup. How the formula would change, also have a look on that. That vertical lookup, this is my lookup value, not table array. Now the problem with the table array also is there. Okay, your table array will start from here instead of there. So control shift right and control shift down. This is my table array. Now what am I looking for is age. Age is on the first in the table array. Name is our first column and age is our second column. So I'll write 2 over here. And I'm looking for an exact match, so I'll be writing false. If I press enter, I'll get the age, that is 45. Although this is the data, 1550 is the data of this Theodore Din, but still it is giving us the age of this one because we are looking in the format of a name. The lookup value is a name. That's why for a lookup value, it is mandatory that it should be a unique value. Your lookup value should be a unique value. Your lookup value should lie on the left hand side. With a right lookup value, you cannot find a value which lies on the left hand side. Okay, so your lookup value should lie on the left hand side. With the help of left hand side value, you can find the value which lies on the right hand side. And from wherever your lookup value starts, so suppose your lookup value starts from name, then your table also starts from name, and that's how you count your columns as well. I hope after this session it is clear how you can use vertical lookup. In our next session, we are going to talk about how index match works. So stay connected guys, and I'll see you in the next session.